Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. It's 10th of March 2022, and what we have for you today in this video is, as usual, CRISPR industry news articles, and then we are going to look at Nasdaq technical analysis along with VXN, and after that, genomic shares will do some technical analysis and try to do a price movement prediction for the short term. So let's get started. Before we get started, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. We crossed the 200 subscriber number yesterday, and we are just a 3-month-old channel. So this is incredible support from all of you guys. Thanks for joining this channel and being a subscriber. And a special thanks to all these people I have mentioned on the screen here: Ishkadish, Jesse, David, Anthony, Jorg, and Michael, and a few others who have been active in the comment section, providing feedback and keeping me going. So thanks to all of you, special thanks to everyone. And let's hope our channel keeps growing. And I would like to hear more from you on what would add greater value for you in this channel so that I can make it worth your time. So it may just have been pushing the subscribe button for you, but let me assure you, it means a lot to me. Thank you. Let's get started. The first news article I have for you is pertaining to yesterday's job report, and the verdict basically is that the job reports have come up much stronger than what the market expected. So non-farm payrolls rose by around 678,000 as against a street estimate of 440,000 for February. And also the unemployment rate fell to 3.8% as against the street expectation of 3.9%. These are very strong indicators of a recovering strong economy. Wages were little changed on the month, up 5.1% for the year, and stayed below the expectation. And one of the reasons is that as the pandemic restriction eased, leisure and hospitality industries were the one that led to job gains, followed by professional and business services and healthcare. And in all of these sectors, the healthcare and leisure and hospitality, the salaries are not that high as you would find probably in tech sector. So that could explain the reason why, but overall, it's a good reading of the economy, and this gives the FDA the Fed much more leeway to confidently increase the interest rate by 25 basis points, and look forward to the next rate hike interest. It could also help them with their tightening process. The next article I have for you is with regard to the crude oil inventories. So US crude oil inventories fell more than expected. However, whenever oil inventories fall more than expected, oil prices are supposed to go up, but the exact opposite happened, and we had the biggest drop in oil prices. And that is explained by the next headline, which I have here, which says oil prices fall most in 2 years as UAE supports oil price hike. And one of the reasons why this is happening is because, first of all, the entire world is railed up against Russia at this point of time, except with the exception of China and probably Belarus, but they are not very vocal about their support for Russia right now. So politically, it makes sense to be supportive of the rest of the world. The second reason, in my opinion, is also that as oil prices keep on going higher, it provides all the more impetus for people to move into electric vehicles and alternate energy. Because after a particular point of pain, people who are sitting on the fence will just jump over. So it's not in the benefit of oil-producing countries if people switch over to alternate energy. For example, if you look at the last decade, the proportion of cars which are either fully electric or hybrid has increased significantly, and as a result, the uptake of oil has reduced. And right now, there are also some pilot projects which are going on for electric airplanes, so but on a smaller scale. So those things are all making it very difficult for oil countries, oil exporting countries, to allow oil price to go up. Even if you look at the defense sector, the drones that we use these days, they are all battery powered and electric powered. They are not gasoline powered or aviation fuel powered. So all the new ones that are coming up with the latest technologies. So oil is losing ground overall in this entire civilization, and therefore it's more important for OPEC countries to moderate the price of oil and make sure that it's not an easy decision to switch from oil to alternate energy. So that's my 2 cents on it. Put your comments, what you think, so that I can have an idea of alternate opinions also. The next news I have is from Intelia. NTLA 5001 is being evaluated in a phase 1 of 2 clinical trial in patients with acute myeloid leukemia, and they have been granted orphan drug status by the FDA. So initially when they started off, FDA gave them permission to get started with this enrollment for this with human patients in September 2001, and we had covered that in one of our earlier daily update videos. And at that time, the plan was to test this in 54 adults who have persistent or recurrent AML and previously had undergone first-line cancer treatments. So last week, Intelia announced that they have introduced the drug into the first patient. And right now, we have FDA announcing orphan drug status. So orphan drug status is given to drugs that address ailments that impact not more than 200,000 people in US. And because the volumes are low, the FDA wants to encourage pharmaceutical companies to still develop therapies for those patients so that they can have a good standard of living. And some of the benefits of being declared as an orphan drug is that they get subsidies from FDA, they get support from FDA, and they would also potentially get some tax benefit, and they have intellectual property rights for an extended period of time so that they can recoup their investments. So I have got that out here in a separate link, FDA link. And as always, I'm going to put all these links into the description so you can go in and have a look at it for yourself and get more familiarized. And also, if you recollect, I had done a FDA drug approval process video, and I think we touched on orphan drug out there also. If you have not seen that video, please go to our channel and have a look at that video. Okay, let's first get started with US oil. And as you can see, today US oil is forming a doji candle and it's green. It's got support from the 9-day exponential moving average. So as long as US oil starts going green, we can expect pressure on the VXN, and the VXN will also spike up in volatility and it will push down the Nasdaq. So that's the dynamic that we are going to see. So the money that came out of oil yesterday is going back into oil. That's what it seems to me. So if you look at the MACD for oil, it's turning towards the signal line. It's kind of reducing. The momentum, which was overbought, has come down and settled down to above average and slightly increasing momentum out here on the RSI. So that means that there is a good possibility that the oil prices might go up and consequently the volatility will continue to keep escalating and bringing the Nasdaq down. So if we go to the VXN, we can see that we are still following our green diagonal line of support. It's still holding for us, and right now the 9-day EMA is also holding the VXN out here. So our hope, basically the best case outcome for us would be that VXN breaks through this support and comes down. That's what we want to happen, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. MACD is turning towards the signal line. It's opposite of what we are seeing with oil. So if oil starts going up, then we are going to see the MACD diverge away from the signal line. So let's see how the day proceeds. As far as the momentum is concerned, it's above average and rising. So that's also in favor of VXN going up, which means Nasdaq has to drop all the gains that it got yesterday. So today Nasdaq is down minus 2.02%, and our earlier support, which happened to be at 13,031, is now becoming a resistance. So I'm going to mark it red, and our next support is going to be 12,865. So that's where we are. MACD is bearish, and the momentum is below average and moving down. So we are still firmly in the bear channel, as you can see, which is bounded by these two red lines. So that's the story of Nasdaq. Yeah, that's all I have to say with regard to oil, VXN, and Nasdaq. Next, let us look at our biotech shares. So let's start off with our genomic shares out here. And on the right side panel, you can see I have all our genomic watch list out here. And top of the list is Novartis, NVS, which is up 0.21%. And if you look at the graph out here, each of these candle here is a one-day candle. It's a long-term chart. That's what I like to look at to do my technical analysis. And you can see that the MACD is bearish, and it's kind of slightly moving towards the signal line. The momentum is below average and slightly rising. We can see from this particular candle that Novartis started off higher in the day and then went up and then came down and hit a bottom of around 82.12. And then right now it's back up again. On its way up, it's at 82.33. So that is the status as far as Novartis is concerned. And overall, if we look at the MACD and the RSI, it seems that Novartis is going to be weak today. However, the dynamics of what happens with oil is very important. So if oil falls, that means less inflation. It will pass through to more benign Fed policies. And in anticipation of all that, we'll have the VXN going down and Nasdaq going up. So that is the mechanism that you have to keep at the back of your mind, because whatever analysis I do right now is based on what I'm seeing on the indicators out here, like MACD and RSI. But the intraday situation of oil can change, and if oil price goes down intraday, then expect for that to be reflected in Nasdaq going up. So having said that, let's go on to look at Pfizer, which is the next share at minus 0.61. And as you can see here, we have been able to break above this diagonal line. We are still struggling with that resistance. But hopefully, given that the MACD is bullish and the momentum, of course, is not as good as I would expect it, but there is still some momentum available. So if we were able to firmly stay above this at the end of the day today, that would be great. Right now, we are above it positively because it's we are at 48.47, which is the top of the candle out here. The candle body. So we are definitely above that diagonal line. That's a very good sign. That shows some amount of strength. So IMTX is down minus 0.82, and we can see that the MACD is just about to cross over the signal line, and the momentum is very, very weak. So even though the MACD is going to turn bearish, we have to remember that MACD is right now at a point where it has not been for most of the history of this company. It's below minus 0.59, which is the lowest that this company has had MACD at in its entire history. So we are still way below that, and we are right now at minus 0.74. So there's a long way for us to go before we can find any strength in IMTX. Let's look at Regeneron next. We are down minus 91%, minus 0.91%. That is $5.69. And we have a resistance here, which is at 619.54, and right now we are at 617.31. So we need to break through that resistance. And for us, the 9-day EMA as well as the 100-day EMA are giving us resistance, along with the 50 and 20-day EMA. So it's all a very tough resistance as far as Regeneron is concerned. The MACD is slightly bullish, but it's tending towards the signal line, which is not what we want to see. And momentum is average, but tending towards below average. That's also not good. So Regeneron is not having a good day today. CRISPR is down minus 1.15%. That's 72 cents down. And as you can see, the share price started lower in the day, and then it went up all the way to 62.8, and then it came down. So that's the reason why you're seeing this green candle out here, even though you have a negative number out here. So we have our 9-day and 20-day EMA, both of them giving support to the price out here. And the MACD is bullish and the momentum is above average. So I'm hoping that CRISPR would be able to gain a little points today and probably inch closer towards the 50-day EMA, which is the green line that we have here. So that's what I have for CRISPR. And for Beam, we are down minus 1.27%. That is around 83 cents. Again, started low and picked up, and it's an inverted hammer, which is a good sign. It shows a little bit of a bullish bias. We have a bearish MACD and we have a dropping momentum. So given the overall situation of the market, it is to be expected that Beam may lose a few more points. And our earlier support, which happened to be at 65.12, is now going to be a resistance for us going forward. And we haven't been able to cross it yesterday. And we may aspire to inch towards it today because the body of the candle is heavier on the top, indicating that the bulls are really trying to push it upwards. So we just need a little bit of support in the momentum. The momentum needs to pick up, and that will then force the MACD to go up. But that's all wishful thinking. Today it seems weak. Beam seems destined to lose a few more points unless oil decides to go down. Vertex is down 1.61%. That is $3.85, and we have an inverted hammer. Again, we started very low today, went up, and then came down. And right now, the 9-day EMA is constraining the price, while the 20-day EMA is supporting the price. So that's the price action for us today. Our next support is at 234.58, which is this green line here. And right now we are at 235.66. So there's a very slim margin for between us and the support. The MACD is bullish, but it's tending towards a signal line, and momentum is dropping to below average. Those are not good signs. So Vertex is likely to drop a little more today and probably challenge this support to hold it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did fall below 234.58 by the close of the day. Intelia is down minus 1.38, and we are now officially below the bear channel in which we were traveling before. And now we have to draw some new support lines to see what can support Intelia. We already have two of them out here. One is at 60.88 and another is at 56.47. But the rate at which we are falling, I think it won't be too soon before we have to do a few more support lines. The MACD is absolutely bearish. That makes me worry a lot. And the momentum is also going to the very bottom. So it's not looking good for Intelia. It's going to drop more. Elogen is down minus 3.4%. That's around 30 cents. And surprisingly for us today, we have opened higher than we have continued to stay higher than the pennant that we formed. But we are still within the bearish channel that we were following earlier. And the 9-day EMA is our immediate resistance, and the next resistance is at 9.93. MACD is bullish and trying to push its way up, whereas the momentum is not cooperating. So I'm expecting that the MACD will also tend towards the signal line and go bearish by the end of the day. So that's the story for Elogen. ARCG is down minus 3.71%. Our next support happens to be at 46.62, which is this horizontal green line. 9-day and 20-day EMA both are our resistance, immediate resistance. The MACD is not looking great. It's bearish and it's tending towards a signal line to cross over to the bullish side. But I'm not hopeful that that may happen today because our momentum is below average and it's falling. So no good news for ARCG today. PSEB is down minus 3.70%, and that's translating to around 42 cents drop today. And we still have support at 10.37. MACD is bullish. It's been bullish for a while, but it's tending towards the signal line. And I'm afraid that today we may cross the signal line and go bearish before end of the market. Right now it is 11:46 a.m. The momentum is weak. That's why I feel that we are going to go bearish and maybe lose a few more cents before the end of the day. Illumina is down minus 3.45%. That is $11.19 down. Our earlier support, which was at 322.88, is now going to become a resistance because we have fallen below it. Our MACD is bullish, but it's very close to the signal line and may cross over to the bearish side anytime soon. The momentum is below average and falling, so that's not a good sign. So together, when we take all these factors, I'm convinced that we are going to lose more for Illumina before the close of the day. Caribou Biosciences is also down minus 3.28%. And if we look at the 9-day EMA, it is the support right now. MACD is bullish, but momentum is falling. That's not a good sign. That may force the MACD to go towards the signal line and cross over to the bearish side. So that's my fear for Caribou Biosciences. Verve is down 4.55%. And our 9-day, 20-day EMA both are resistances, and also we have a horizontal resistance at 29.72. MACD is bearish and momentum is below average and falling down. No good news for Verve here. It's going to continue to fall. Editas is down minus 5.56%. And our next support is at 15.37, which is this horizontal green line. Our 9-day and 20-day EMA both are offering stiff resistance. So it's looking bad. Even though the MACD is bullish, it's tending towards the signal line and the momentum is below average and falling. So that's going to take down the MACD, and I don't expect anything good for Editas today. Bluebird is down 8.16%, and how much more can it go down? I feel the pain for all Bluebird investors. I'm sorry for you, but it's not looking good today. MACD is bearish and momentum is absolutely non-existent. So it doesn't bode well for Bluebird, and 9-day EMA is becoming a resistance. So it's looking terrible out there. Teladoc is horrible and it's dragging down ARKG also. It's at minus 8.60% down. I really feel for all the Teladoc investors. So that includes me as a holder of ARKG. So it's a very painful day. Just we need to hold our wits and stay focused, not do any sudden movements because the markets can move anytime. So I'm going to stay where I am with ARKG. This chart shows that Teladoc has got a bearish MACD and momentum is falling down further. So no good news during the day. Our next support is at 54.58. And right now we are at 60.61. So just to conclude, everything looks bad in the market. Money is going back into oil. Let us look at where oil is right now before we conclude the session. So let me go and have a look at oil. So oil is down marginally minus 0.15%. And let us look at what it has done to the VXN. So VXN, let us go to a one-day view on VXN. And VXN has gone up. It's being supported by the 9-day EMA. So maybe my thesis about oil may or may not come true. But right now, I think we are in a transition position where the market participants are looking at what is happening with oil. If oil prices conclusively come down and fall to say maybe 50 cents or 60 cents, I think we'll start seeing the VXN go up and the Nasdaq going down further. But if oil goes up, we should just assume that all the indices that we have seen are going to fall down. Our genomic stocks are going to fall down further and stay in the red for the day. So that's how I'd like to conclude this session. Let me repeat this. I think that if oil picks up value, then it may spike the VXN and it will push down the Nasdaq further. So we have to wait and see what happens. So one of the indicators that I'll be watching for the rest of the day would be US oil to see whether it goes positive. If it goes positive around $1 or something, then I would assume that it's going to spike the VXN and push the Nasdaq down. In other words, no recovery is possible for the Nasdaq as long as oil keeps going up and doesn't fall severely. That's all for the day today. I hope you have a good day in the trade and whatever you're doing. Please don't forget to put a like there. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and join our community for everything CRISPR. We'd love to have you here. Thanks and have a great day. I'll see you later tomorrow. Bye for now.